joining us this morning. We have some amazing guest speakers from St. John's River State College, and we want your students to see what's out there. And so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Please remember to keep your mics muted. They will have time for Q&A, so then you can unmute your mics. All right, ladies.
Hi, good morning. My name is Laura Rogers. I am the St. Augustine Campus Career and Technical Education Advisor. I will be doing the majority of the presenting today, but I did want to go ahead and let our other two advisors introduce themselves, say which campus that they serve at, etc. Take it away, Terry.
Yeah, my name is Terry Robinson. I am the Career and Technical Education Advisor for the Palatka campus.
And I'm Marta Klinger. I'm the Career and Technical Advisor on the Orange Park campus.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now we're going to get started. I have a presentation that I'll be going through. Hopefully, I know that this ends by 9:35, so we'll try to leave a little bit of time for questions. But first, let's start off with a commercial about our college.
Begin here, go anywhere. SJR State is your gateway to Florida's university system, as well as your local source for more than 40-plus career tracks. St. John's River State College, now offering bachelor's degrees.
Your life.
Your course.
Your future.
Always nice to see former students in some of our commercials. As it said, we have over 40 different career tracks. They're all shown at the bottom of this screen, and we're going to go through the STEM-related ones. So first, to get started, welcome to St. John's River State College. We do have 3 campuses. We have an Orange Park campus, a Palatka campus, that's just near y'all, and then we also have a St. Augustine campus. Within each campus, we have specific programs of study or specific programs offered. As an example, Florida School of the Arts, as shown right here, is actually offered at our Palatka campus. So if you have an interest in doing art, theater design, animation, anything along that realm, musical theater, there is an incredible program, Florida School of the Arts, and it's at our Palatka campus. There's lots of options when you're trying to determine what you want to do next after you graduate from high school. The first option we like to consider is us, St. John's River State College. At St. John's River State College, we offer career and technical education certificates, which are what we are advisors over. Those are things like Law Enforcement Academy, Correction Academy, Certified Nursing Assistant, Licensed Practical Nursing, and Medical Assisting. These are actually clock hour programs. They're not college credit. A lot of times, though, they can equate to college credit. And that's why you see college credit certificates listed there in business, IT, criminal justice, EMT, and paramedic. So you can go there and you could stop the buck there and then enter directly into the workforce, or you could move on to an associate in science degree. So an associate in science degree, we have them in business, nursing, respiratory, rad tech, HIT, IT, and criminal justice. So just because it says AS doesn't mean it's a science degree. Associate in science is maybe a better term to say a specialized degree. So the S means specialization. So what these are they are 2-year or less associate degrees that you complete and then you enter into the workforce. A lot of the college credit certificates and the career and technical certificates are actually meant to give them the next leg up to get their degree. We also are very well known because we are the Communities College for our Associate in Arts degree. That is the legally recognized transfer degree for the state of Florida. So you do 2 years here, and then you would transfer into a university or into one of our bachelor degrees, which we now offer bachelor's in applied science for supervision and management, a bachelor's of science in nursing once you complete an associate's in nursing, and a bachelor of science in early childhood education if you want to teach. All of these can then lead you to enter into the workforce. You'll notice that the AA doesn't really have an arrow to the workforce because it's really just the next step to get you to the university. So what percentage of occupations require career and technical education? Well, for the jobs that are out there, 10% of them require high school or less. About 36% of the careers that are here in Florida require career certificates. That is a huge chunk. It's a little bit different than what we always hear, that you need a bachelor's degree. So that's important to note, especially because this is from the FLDOE, the Florida Department of Education. For associate's degrees, you need about 14%. For bachelor's degrees, it's only 16%. It's actually very similar to associates. And then master's, as you can see in the pie, is 24%. But what about the earnings based on education level? Well, there is also a graph for that in the Florida Department of Education. You will see here that we have for the college system, that's what FCS means, for PSAV. So those are programs like law enforcement, corrections. Those students, when they graduate, they're earning around 40 grand. For the AS degrees, those are things in like IT, engineering technology. Those students are earning around $47,000, so about 7 grand more. For the AA degree, or for the bachelor's degree meant to build upon the AS degree, they're earning around $52,000. And then for the AA degree, they're earning around $36,000. And for the SUS bachelor degree, that means state university systems, so schools like UF, USF, UWF, UCF, all of those, to earn a bachelor's degree, they're earning around $42,000. So there's a pretty big discrepancy between a 4-year degree at a university and a 2-year degree in a very specialized area. So this shows you that if you earn a 2-year degree in something like nursing or IT, you will earn probably about $5,000 from your counterpart that spent 2 more years in college at a university. So that's a kind of important graph to consider as we look through our programs. So here today, this is actually a screenshot of our career pathways, which anyone can access on our website. It's under the student tab of the main page. It shows you our STEM pathway. As you can see here, we have actually linked the school county districts because each county has career and technical education academies. We have also linked the college programs that we offer that are in relation to the STEM field. There's also an engineering and technology pathways infographic directly from the Florida Department of Education, and then lots of other little links on the side. So probably the most important from the page of career pathways, especially for you students who are interested in doing dual enrollment, we have provided not only the AA degree course requirements for something like biology or pre-medicine, but also engineering, and even our AS degree. So this shows you what courses you should be taking if your goal within the state college system is to complete either the AA or the AS within this specific career of study. We also have industry earned certification, which means if you've earned a certification in a specific area, if there's a Florida articulation for that program of study, you will then earn credit on that degree. Here's an example of the credit for earned industry certification. So a very popular one is CompTIA Server Plus. If you were to have completed that, you would get credit for Introduction to Server Operating Systems, a 3-credit class, towards the AS degree in Network Systems Technology. So that just gives you a breakdown of kind of how that works. So again, an AS degree allows a student to graduate at a semi-professional level and enter directly into the career field. There's only usually 5 general education courses. It's usually 2 communications, a humanities, a math, and a social science. There's college credit certificate options that are usually embedded within the degree, and almost all of our AS degrees require a capstone at the end of the course, which is usually a work experience or some kind of internship or some kind of big project. All of our AS degrees articulate to our Bachelor of Applied Science degree in Organizational Management. And as you can see there, we have 3 tracks. For STEM, you would want to go into the emerging computer technologies. I cannot get it out of my mouth. So that shows you how you can do the 2-year degree and then go into one of our bachelors here at the college. For network systems technology, this is our current AS degree that we do offer, but most of the courses are offered in a hybrid format on the Orange Park campus. And that is due to the fact that the Cisco, which as you can see down here is one of the optional college credit certificates, the Cisco lab is specifically at the Orange Park campus. You'll find that a lot of our STEM programs are actually at our Orange Park campus. What about IT and healthcare? Well, this is also a really great. I'm going to very quickly show this video.
Medical records have been around for as long as, well, civilization. Cave paintings have been discovered revealing hand injuries, the nearest thing cave people had to health records. A few thousand years later, a doctor in Egypt recorded his patients' ails, from tumors to spinal injuries, and their treatments on papyrus. As the centuries rolled on, healthcare of questionable effectiveness was regularly practiced, but healthcare record keeping was not. It wasn't until the 19th century, actually, that European doctors kept early versions of clinical records on their patients. But even then, there were no rules about creating, compiling, and storing medical information, leading to confusion, or worse. The American College of Surgeons asked medical librarian Grace Whiting Myers to make sense of it all. And in 1928, Grace and several colleagues met in Boston to form the Association of Record Librarians of North America to elevate the standards of clinical records in hospitals and medical institutions. With that goal in mind, the original association eventually became the American Health Information Management Association, better known as AHIMA. After 88 years, our updated vision is to improve health through trusted information. And our revised mission to transform healthcare by being the leaders in HIM, informatics, and information governance. Now we're preparing for an exciting new future while still providing expert support and resources to our members and reviewing our practices to ensure trusted information. The facts are plain. The amount of data keeps growing, and the way we handle information must evolve as well. AHIMA isn't doing different work. We're doing better work in a new context. AHIMA has created a strategy for 2017 and beyond to move the profession forward and secure HIM for the future.
I'm going to actually stop it there because we don't have like a ton of time. But the reason I'm showing you this is because I think there's a common misconception about IT fields only being in IT, working for places like Cisco Systems or Google. But the fact of the matter is that computer science is used in every aspect of every job all over our nation. And IT and healthcare is a really great field to go into. So if you do have any interest in IT, but also working in the healthcare field, this is the business side of healthcare. And we have a program that's actually fully online, except for your internship towards the end. It's called Health Information Technology. And this is a 2-year degree, and students can work remote after they finish this program. So you can go through a 2-year degree, become a registered health information technician after sitting for an exam, and then you could be making good money while also sitting from the comfort of your own home in your PJs. Another program that our college offers is engineering technology. The purpose of this program is to prepare students for employment into the advanced manufacturing and process product technicians, industrial and machinery mechanics, quality assurance technicians, and programmable logic control technicians and operators. So even though the name sounds as if you would become an engineer, you're not technically becoming an engineer. You're more of a working within the field of manufacturing and working specifically with the robotics and machines that you need in order to excel in that field. This specific 2-year degree also has 3 certificates. We do offer this program at both of our Palatka and our Orange Park campus. However, specifically at our Orange Park campus, we have a new program. It's not that new, but it's through the Fleet Readiness Center, which is actually at Naval Air Station Jacksonville in Orange Park. And it's a 5-year apprentice program where by the end of it, as you can see here, you'll be making, in the beginning, you'll be making around 42. By the end of it, you can usually make 60 plus, and you get all the benefits of working on NAS Jack. So this program is actually I'm not sure why that's in the background, but it's taking applications right now. You would have to be graduating from high school, but it's basically a paid internship. So first you get paid $15.57 per hour to not only go through our program and earn a certificate, but also to go through their apprenticeship program. So it's wonderful. Here you go. You can see that we're accepting applications from November 19th through January 24th. It's very specific on how you have to apply, and you must do all of the required documents. They have a lot of helpful people. If you have any questions specifically about this program, you can actually call the department directly. Now, finally, we also offer the Associate in Arts degree. We do have transfer agreements with UNF. So if your goal is to become, let's say, a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer, you can do an AA with us and take all the prerequisites that you need to get into one of those programs at a university. So as an example, we have an agreement with UNF simply because they're the closest college to us. But if you think about Tallahassee State College, they feed to FSU. Same with Valencia, feeding to UCF. It's really, we all serve the communities that we are within. That being said, you can still earn your AA and get into one of the other universities if that is your choice. Just know that sometimes there's some prerequisites or some other requirements that you might need to get into that program at a university. But if you earn an AA, you will get into one of the state universities. It's a guaranteed thing here in Florida. It just may not be the program of study that you want to have interest in unless you've met those requirements. You can earn your AA and go to Embry-Riddle and save thousands of dollars. And then you can also articulate it into our bachelor's that we offer here at the college. And our AA degree does have an honors program. So if you're looking to do an AA degree, here's an example of a student who wants to transfer into a bachelor's degree at one of these major institutions in computer science. So as you can see here, I have labeled out what you would need to complete with your AA. So you're going to be looking at a lot of math. So you need college algebra, pre-calc, calc 1, and calc 2. You also need physics with calculus 1 and 2, and then you need intro to computers and intro to computer programming. So a lot of math and some heavy science there for computer science majors. For computer engineering majors, even more math and science. You also need chemistry and differential equations, which is what you take after calculus 2. So just know that if you're choosing to go into the computer science or engineering field, you will need a lot of math and science. If you're interested in going into mechanical engineering or most engineering, again, you need all the pre-calc, calc 1, calc 2, calc 3, and differential equations, and then again, chemistry and physics. For our bachelor's degrees, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a BS in early childhood education, the BAS in organizational management, and the BS in nursing, which you have to already be a registered nurse. However, our bachelor degrees are great. So you could earn your AS degree in network systems technology and then go on to our bachelor's of applied science and organizational management. We also have a transfer agreement with, I believe it's either Valencia or Daytona State College for that engineering degree as well. And then, of course, the money. So we always want to talk about money. If you come to a state college, you'll be saving probably $200 to $300 per credit hour. So as an example, our per credit hour fee right now for in-state tuition is $108. University of North Florida's is about $211. So you could take Composition 1 with us and save about $112 to $150 per credit hour, which one class is usually 3 credit hours. You can also save money by doing it through dual enrollment. However, just know if you're a graduating senior right now, we are accepting applications for over 150 different scholarships. You would just go to the student drop down, click on scholarships, and it'll take you here, and that'll get you through all the information. You do need a letter of recommendation, your autobiography, and it'll tell you as you go through the online application how to do all those steps. If you're considering other institutions, that's cool too. You might want to check out fastweb.com. It's a reputable scholarship site with over thousands of different scholarships. So you might want to jot that down. And then Career Source of Northeast Florida serves a lot of our students in these very specific programs of study like practical nursing or sometimes even computer science. We also have an academic support center. I'm trying to hurry up because it's already 9:30. You can get free tutoring online and on campus at each library. We have advising. We also have campus counseling if you need to talk with someone. And then we also have amazing student activities. We also have men's baseball, women's softball, and women's volleyball at our Palatka campus if you're interested in coming here for sports. We are the Vikings. That's why you see the Viking logo in many different pictures. And then last but not least, you can always follow us on social media. That's how you can find out, honestly, the most up-to-date information. We also have student spotlights, inspirational quotes, and fun memes. All right, that is it. So I wanted to leave at least 5 minutes for questions. So do we have any questions?
You can go ahead and unmute yourself if you have any questions. And I do have a question for you.
Mhm.
So for the prereqs, do you help them if they're going to a college that wasn't on your list? So if they were going to UF, would
Yes.
you help them figure out what prereqs they needed to take to make sure it transferred over?
Yes, not specifically us advisors, but we also have academic advisors, and those work specifically with our AA transfer students. We use a website called Florida Shines, or we use the university website to plan out the AA for the student, which with whatever prereqs they want to take.
That's awesome. Miss Perry, does your class have any questions?
Hey, we do kind of have some questions, but remember we're fourth grade. So we're just learning all of this, and I'm trying to encourage them, to consider starting to think about what they're going to do in the future, because we do have some coders in here, some computer people. Do you want to come ask one of your questions? There's somebody who would like to come and ask a question, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can you hear us pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I make good money and make my own place? How long would it take as a veterinarian to make my own place?
So to become a veterinarian, you're going to have to go to veterinary school. So your first stop would be completing your associate in arts with us. And with your associate in arts, you're going to take a ton of math and science. So like Bio 1, Bio 2, Chem 1, Chem 2, Organic Chem 1, Organic Chem 2, and all those maths. So those are going to be the meat and potatoes of your associate in arts degree. And then you're going to transfer into a science major. So like UF, University of Florida, for instance, has a great veterinary program. Very competitive. So you would have to really, make straight A's and possibly work at a vet, to get that experience while you're in school. But definitely it's doable. You do your AA, you get a bachelor's in a science related field at the university, and then you would apply to vet school, which is another 4 years. And then you could go work as a vet. But I would like to encourage anyone who's interested in a career field to go and either volunteer at it. I know when I was younger in high school, I was very interested in veterinary school. And so I went and actually shampooed dogs for money, and I would let them out during the weekend when they had dogs boarded up. So it's definitely a good thing to do to get that practice experience and see if it's even what you want to go into.
Okay, so I have a question. How much years does it, and how much money do you get for being a cop, and how much years does it take?
For being a cop?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, to become a law enforcement officer, as long as you're of the age of 17 and you have your high school diploma, you can technically apply to the Law Enforcement Academy. However, our instructors would prefer you have a little bit of years of experience. So like maybe when you're 20, but the Law Enforcement Academy is actually a 9-month clock hour program. So once you go through those clock hours for those 9 months, you actually graduate and take a Florida certification exam to become a law enforcement officer. And then you can go work as a law enforcement officer. You basically get trained on the job other than the training and studying that you do to pass that exam. They actually don't make a ton of money in the beginning, but there's a lot of incentives to becoming a law enforcement officer. But typically they probably would start around $30,000 to $36,000 per year.
Okay, thank you. We have a couple more questions. Do we have time or no?
I don't know.
That's up to you. We'll run a little bit over if it's okay.
Is that okay with Miss Rogers or no?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
What do you have to go through, and how many years and how much money do you get for a detective?
So a detective is very similar to law enforcement. Typically, to become a detective, um, they probably would want you to have a bachelor's degree. So once you earn your law enforcement academy, there's actually a 2-year degree that goes along with that, and then you can go on to earn your bachelor's. So that's 4 years of school, not including the 9 months to become a law enforcement officer. Now, to become a detective, typically you don't just walk in and say, "I want to become a detective." A lot of law enforcement officers work in the field first as a field officer, meaning the people who are pulling you over or, you know, that are just, out there driving around. So you have to do that for a little bit. And then usually they'll do on the job training for that as well.
Okay.
And you would make a little bit more money.
Okay.
Oh, I have a question. How much money do you make if you're a manager or something?
If you're a manager of something, I'm sorry, what was the last part?
Well, how much money do you make if you're a manager of like a store?
So that's like a really great question that I honestly feel like it would be all over the place. It would depend on the store. It would depend on the clientele of the store, meaning the patrons. I do know that in retail management, you can actually make very decent money, but you're working all the time. But usually they're making around 50 to 60 grand. Sometimes to become a retail manager, those are just people who have worked their way up. So they don't even necessarily have a college education, which is totally possible. But having a college education, even if it's just a 2-year degree in business, is really going to give them a leg up within their workforce.
Okay, thank you.
How long do you think it would take to become a good investor?
So what do you mean by a good investor? Like buying stocks and trading stocks on the internet?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know. I actually avoid stocks at all costs. My husband's very into that. But I would say probably you would need a bachelor's degree because you're going to need to know about economics and personal finance and those kind of, study. So I would say 4 years to study for something like that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Great questions for fourth graders.
We've got about 4 more.
Okay.
I have a question. How long do it takes to be a teacher?
Oh, what a great question. I hope you become a teacher. So if you wanted to go, okay. So there's a couple things that go into that. So if you wanted to just be a teacher that is just, over 4th grade, let's say, you could go through an AA degree, which is 2 years, and then finish a bachelor's degree in early childhood education. So it's a total of 4 years. You could actually do it all completely online through our college. And then you would do your internships and your practicums, et cetera, to get that teaching experience. You could do that within your county, and then you could start working. So teachers are one of the most needed, other than probably nurses and healthcare and respiratory therapists right now within our nation. There was a huge burnout from teachers due to COVID. So we would love to have more teachers come out.
Thank you. Okay, 3 more.
I have a question. How long do it take to be a coding or an engineer?
So an engineer is going to be a 4-year degree. It's actually usually done in 5 years, typically, like at University of Florida or UCF, or even UNF. But to become a coder, that's just something you train yourself to do, or you can take college level classes. Like we have a lot of coding, like C#, Java, some of those different programming areas. So you could take college credit classes, but you could also just get books online. There's even training classes through Google. They're all over the place. So really it's just you doing the studying and getting the work done. There's people who are coding, all over the place that don't even have a college education.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, I was wondering what would you have to do to become like a vice principal?
I want to ask your teacher that. I think the preference from teachers would be that the person has taught in a classroom setting. That's a huge deal for at least, I would say, 5 years, specifically within that area. So if you're a elementary education teacher and you want to become an elementary education principal, I think most teachers would prefer you've actually taught within the setting so you can understand where the teacher's coming from. That being said, I'm not sure that always happens, but that's probably the preference. I'm not sure if a lot of them have master degrees, which is an additional 2 to 3 years after you receive your bachelor's.
I think you do need a master's in leadership.
Okay, yeah, so there you go. So you would need a master's degree, which would be an additional 2 years on top of your 4-year degree.
And to have a
Okay,
certification.
thank you.
Oh yeah, teaching certification. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That's hence it goes back to the whole teachers would prefer a teacher.
I have a question. How long would it take to go to nursing? How long would it take to be a nurse and a cop?
Wait, a nurse and a cop?
Well, we already addressed the cop, so just the nurse.
Okay, so great question. So our college and all state colleges within here in Florida, you can do multiple options to become a nurse. You can go through a clock hour program and become a practical nurse. So that's a year program. And then you could also go through a 2-year degree program to become to have your associate in science degree in nursing and become a registered nurse. And then you can also do the RN to BSN online to earn your bachelor's degree. But really all you need to become a nurse here in the state of Florida is to pass the state exam after going through a nursing program and taking your boards to become a registered nurse.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
One more, and that's it.
Okay.
I have a question. How long will it take to be a judge?
Oh man, I'd have to Google that one. I believe to be a judge, you have to first be a lawyer. I could be completely wrong. And law school is an additional 4 years after earning your bachelor's degree. So it's just like medical school. So you would earn a bachelor's degree in something like economics or political science, and then you could go on to take your LSAT, which is very similar to the MCAT. They're just different subjects, and they're required for you to get into that program of study and get into that college or school. So in that case, you'd do another 4 years of law school, and then I would imagine to become a judge, you'd have to work in the field for a long time.
Yes. Thank you so much. You have inspired us.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to get them started at a young age to start thinking about their careers and to see everything that's out there. I like that you touched base on health because we were going to have a nurse speak this week, but unfortunately she couldn't. And but she was going to talk about computer science within the nursing program. So I was excited about that. And then the advanced manufacturing, we have advanced manufacturing over at Palatka High School, and we're actually highlighting his class tomorrow for the kids to see. And so I like that you touched on that as well. So we greatly, greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And Miss Perry, thank you for joining, and thank you for all those awesome questions, guys.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Okay.
Aw,
Thank you. Thank you, all of you ladies. We appreciate all of you.
thank you.
Have
All
a
right.
great day.
We're going to get back to some math.